I'll talk in a minute. Hello world, welcome to the 182nd Climate Change Emergency Protest here in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It is July 1st, 2022. As I said, this is the 186th Climate Change Emergency Protest, and number 187 will be on July 8th, 2022. I'm standing in front of the Virginia Memorial here on the battlefield. The first day's battle was right near our house, about a half-mile away. There's a 3-day battle here at Gettysburg during the Civil War in 1863, which was 159 years ago to this day. And the battle lasted 3 days, as I said, and this is the culmination of the third day's battle. And what happened was that there was a group of Confederate soldiers, at the instructions of Robert E. Lee, mistakenly thought they could walk and charge across a half-mile expanse of open ground and attack the Union positions on the other side and succeed in breaking through the lines of a reinforced situation. And it was a fool's errand and a death march, basically. Eventually, even if they had gotten through all the way, they would have been swamped by the reinforcements. So it was a lost cause with that. And I can't believe I'm out here by myself, being the anniversary of the battle, and nobody's out here yet. So I expected huge crowds, but evidently not. This battlefield here, very fortunate, and Tanya's very fortunate in order that people died so that we could run on the battlefield. It's a great expanse, a great park, and there are tons of horse trails to run on when you get older, and you want to do cross training. You can run on the horse trails and stay off the roads. My younger days, I spent many years running on the hard-packed battlefield roads, as this lady is doing here, commendably. And the roads are super thick. They were built in the 1930s, I think it was, and they're super thick, but they're super hard. And it's great for training, but it's really hard on the knees and all. So, this battlefield here, this attack they did on the third day was similar to Fredericksburg that the Union mistakenly did a couple years earlier, or a year earlier, or 2 years earlier. At Fredericksburg, Maryland, they attacked across open ground, and it was just a suicide run. And the South lost a boatload of men, and all told, in the whole Battle of Gettysburg, there were 23,000 casualties on the Union side and 28,000 on the Southern side. What happened after July 3rd, on the 4th, the night of the 3rd, they retreated and went all the way back to Virginia, and the Union did not pursue them, and they continued on with the Civil War for another 2 years because they did not pursue them and end it right there. As far as the Union Army of Northern Virginia, they could have finished them off before they got to the Potomac, and they did not. So they were allowed to escape back into Virginia, and the continuation of the war went on. So it was a big mistake on many parts, and the biggest mistake of them all was the Civil War itself. It came to a tipping point where the Supreme Court and the people down south felt it was states' rights over federal rights, and it was a huge situation. But the problem went all the way back to the Constitution, if not before, the corporation of slavery itself. Some 400 years ago, the first slaves came in to the United States. Before it was the United States, the colonies. And they allowed slavery to happen here and gain foothold. But when the Constitution was written, they had the 3/5 clause where they said slaves were counted as 3/5 of a person, and it continued slavery. They had the opportunity right then to release the slaves within a certain number of years. The economy down south relied on slavery, but they could have easily said in 10 years slaves would be hereby free and have to be employed by their owners and so-called owners and paid a fair wage. But that did not happen. The slavery continued from 1787 until it came to its culmination in 1863. So it's a question of states' rights versus federal rights. And the states felt that they were separate countries unto themselves. And it's similar to the situation now that's developing in the United States. And we're going down a horrible path, but I don't think it'll matter in the long run. The Supreme Court right now is making horrible decisions as far as returning powers back to the states, and for the functionality of the United States is falling down the tubes real quick. And maybe people are realizing that, maybe they're not. It's not about one issue that's going on. It's about the whole idea of where the Supreme Court is headed. And we're causing a situation right now, the Supreme Court is, and people believing that, hands off government and all this stuff. What's going to happen is that we're going to end in a calamitous collapse all at once, along with climate change at the same time. So you're having a situation such as the Supreme Court yesterday decided that the Environmental Protection Agency had to be limited in their amount of and scope as to how much they could control greenhouse gases and make laws considering that. Again, they're bowing to the corporations, just like the United States did back in the day with slavery, the corporation of slavery. Now it's the corporation of big business and fossil fuel industry, and they're bowing to it. And it's going to end in a calamitous destruction of the United States eventually, and the world, because the United States, by this decision that the Environmental Protection Agency had no rights to rule over corporations and things like that, or limited rights, then what's going to happen is that the United States will go full tilt again, producing coal, because the next administration come in will most likely be the other party, the Republican Party here in the United States. And they'll go full tilt with fossil fuels, and there'll be no incentive for other countries to engage in reducing their fossil fuel emissions, when the United States is leading the way and being jerks and not realizing the science of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. I mean, it's unbelievable how many people still believe that climate change is a hoax, that it's caused by God, or it's caused by something else, or something else. It's like, this is insanity that's going on in the United States. We're a bunch of uneducated boobs. And I apologize to the rest of the world for our ineptitude and stupidity. So it's going to come to a tipping point. And right now we're seeing it in this whole system around the whole world, where massive floods and heat waves, drought, fires, the permafrost is thawing. Blue ocean events going to occur in the Arctic Ocean, and that'll be the harbinger of the final tipping point, that things will start getting way out of control when the ice starts going away for a month or 2 weeks at a time. And then next year it'll be a month or 2 months, So we're on a path to destruction. How do you explain to people that won't listen to basic issues about climate change? Friends and family won't talk about it. People that are, of course, the other side of things don't believe in it at all. So the United States is highly, highly stupid in many regards to world events that's happening. People refuse to go on YouTube and actually see the real news as to what's happening in the world. And they just pay attention to the four main networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox Television, and getting their news from that. And they don't even realize what's happening in the world. They think it's world news when they're watching it, and all it is local news and sensationalism. And they're not going and doing their own research, or go down this webpage that I'm on and look at the news as to what's happening, or go into Environmental Coffee House that has many broadcasts on YouTube, and going on there and see what's happening. So yeah, going to end up, we're having a giant hiccup in the system right now. And what it is the Earth is warning us that this is it. You get no chances. There is no second chance coming back from extinction. And we're headed down that path. We have already entered into it. And it would take massive changes now to fix the situation. So the secondary effects after all those events, the heat waves and all that, you're going to get food insecurity and mass migrations of people. You're going to have starvation going on. Eventually, when you have massive amounts of people going into several countries, you're going to have government breakdown. And after you have government breakdown, you have marauding armed gangs and trucks and around the world, and people just with guns in general, or just general crime. And the crime leads to murder and rape and things that go along with that. And, you could die to any one of those things I've named above beforehand. Or a worsening system breakdown, and that'll continue to happen. It's not just going to stop, it's going to get worse and worse, and eventually end up with a runaway heating of the earth, hot house earth, we'll have extinctions in unimaginable numbers. People aren't realizing how this is going on right now, and I don't know. I don't know how people, what they're looking at when you see all these things happening around the environment. In the woods here, for example, trees are dying all over the place. They're being attacked by insects or just rotting out, or the climate is changing so fast that the trees can no longer hold on. And we're going to see forest fires in the United States that are unbelievable soon. Heat waves that are unbelievable soon, as they had in India and Pakistan, and having in Italy. The Po River in Italy is drying up. You're having Lake Mead and Lake Powell in the United States, which are trickling down to nothing, and people don't realize that the lakes there are dropping like 2 inches a day, but they're into the V-notch part of the reservoir, meaning the original riverbed, and it's going to drop precipitously at that point when it gets into the riverbed, because there's nothing left, and it's not a wide expanse of water. It'll become a narrow expanse, and then it just keeps dropping. So along with extinction of unimaginable numbers, you're going to end up with diseases, things escaping out of the permafrost that are full of diseases we haven't seen in millions of years, and humans have no ability to fight that, neither do other animals. So, as I said, the Supreme Court passed the power, or took away the power from the Environmental Protection Agency to pass environmental laws, basically, and coal production is going to go full speed ahead. And instead of a 50% reduction goal by the world, and the United States especially, by 2030 of greenhouse gases, you're gonna end up with severe increase in greenhouse gases, and we're sowing the seeds of our destruction. And it's coming to the point where it's just laughable, because people don't see what's happening, and you actually have to stand back and laugh and at the ludicrousy of everything going on. It's gallows humor, and I just can't believe what's happening. And this just I shake my head. I know people that have college degrees, master's degrees, doctorate degrees, and they're idiots. They refuse to look at what's happening or to even discuss it. And it's like, don't you see what's going on? Talk to me what's going on, or just talk to anybody about what's happening. And I don't mean, oh, the weather's just messed up. I mean, the whole system is messed up. So there's no one that's connecting the dots, or very few, and it's actual insanity what's happening with the world, and especially the United States. So this is kind of like a bullfighter in the bull. You got a bull that just sees red. And this is the reactive thing that's going on with Supreme Court, the Congress of the United States, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. And the bull just sees red. He sees the red sheet in front of him, and he attacks it. And little does the bull realize that the climate change is the bullfighter behind that. And they see the sheet only, and they don't see the long-term effects or the very short-term effects, because the long-term effects are now becoming short-term effects. It's no longer in the future. It is happening now. So the bullfighter behind the sheet has a sword, and that bull is racing and going after that sheet. And little does the bull know that it is witnessing its own death, and it is contributing to it very quickly. Rather than turn around and go out of the bull ring or into the pasture, this bull just continues and keeps at it and keeps hammering away. And that bullfighter, Mother Earth, is going to end it all very quickly. So one way or the other, there's going to be a revolution. Either we change our ways severely, or Mother Earth is going to change it for us. And it's the revolution that's coming with Mother Earth is going to be called extinction. And it's going to be a horrible experience. And people better wake up. Get your college degrees out. Either use them to improve your life and improve the life of others and vote responsibly, or realize that college degree can be used in the toilet just the same, and it's just as valuable to you. So no party in the United States, especially Republican and Democrat, and around the world as well, no party can claim the high ground with climate change. If they're participating and saying we need more oil drilling and things like that, they're not realizing the calamitous situation we're in. Continue to drill in spite of the gas prices going up and everything else. You're ignoring the fact that climate change is going to kill us all. And now we're into the final years, I would think, before 2030, that we're going to see absolutely horrendous things happening. And next year should be the harbinger of what's coming, when El Nino starts kicking in, and the oceans start kicking out their heat, and the sunspots get going even more, and the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will trap so much heat that we can't even stand it and cannot survive. So no party can claim high ground with climate change around the world. Drill, baby, drill, and keeping on with this is absolutely horrendous. Even saying we're not going to do anything right this second, we're going to continue on as way we are, is actually the wrong action as well. We no longer have that latitude to actually do nothing. It needs to be severe, consequential, and painful to the people of the world, especially the United States. And we're gonna have to suck it up, or Mother Nature, as I said, is going to take care of us in its own way. Right out words only. Right now you have either overt actions done by certain groups in the United States concerning anti-climate change, or you have overt, but you have de facto also, which is people actually by their actions underneath the surface. They don't see that their party is actually doing things, as in the party in charge right now in the country, actually doing things under the surface they know nothing about. I've been posting things all along as to what's happening, and people think, oh, you're a closet Republican, or you're a closet liberal, whatever, Democrat, or mainstream Democrat. No, I'm what I am is a outwardly overt Mother Earther, in that we have to do the right thing, and we need Mother Earth in order to survive. My feet are planted on this earth, and this is where I happen to live. Yeah, I'm a human, and I'm causing its destruction too. But I'm willing to go along with if they ever come up with plans to change things, and it's way too late actually. But we can actually try to do something, and not doing anything is actual suicide as to what's going on. So it's murder by your government and suicide by individuals. So people, for example, in Pennsylvania running for the governor's job, both parties, as well as the Senate, both parties, they're all, I watched the debates and many of the debates they had, and they're all about fracking. They're all about jobs and keeping the gas industry here in Pennsylvania. We're the second largest gas producer in the United States, meaning methane. It's not natural gas. It's natural, but it's methane, pure and simple. Methane is one of the most dangerous greenhouse gases out there. So they're all about producing methane and continuing on, because they said we need jobs. Well, newsflash, in a year or two or three, it'll become self-apparent, jobs won't matter when your friends and family start dying, or your house burns down, or gets flooded out, things like that. So these candidates for higher office are actually total boobs. And to vote for them at all right now, unless they change your ways and actually really, you could believe them, which I don't believe anyone anymore as far as that goes. But, unless they're willing to change your ways and, absolutely do a 180 as far as attacks or actions concerning climate change, please don't vote for them at all. Don't vote at all if you're going to be voting for a fracker or someone that's willing to kill us all. And people go, how can you do that? You can't win if nobody's going to be voting for anybody. Yeah, that's the point. Maybe they need to get a new slate of candidates all around. So, when you vote, you need to look at the qualifications of the people that are running for office, such as their fossil fuel positions, whether they believe in subsidies to the fossil fuel companies, whether they believe in jobs over survival. As I said, it's murder, straight up murder, what's going on, and we need to change our ways. So I'll catch you next week. That'll be number 187. That'll be on July 8th, 2022. Do the right thing, please. See you later.